What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 311 of Cocktails in the War Room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie. Welcome to the War Room, where we meet every Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern to talk about life, to talk about music, to talk about concerts. We've been doing it since March 14th of 2020. We did 80 nights in a row riding out the pandemic, and then we turned the show when we launched the Mistress Carrie podcast into the weekly show that we have now, and we are 311 episodes deep. So we got to say what's up to Sherry and Keith in the comments, Jonathan and Bish, Carol and Donna, Sherry and Kim, Ash is here, Denise is here. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're new to the War Room, because you could be watching on Twitch, you could be watching on YouTube, you could be watching on Instagram or Facebook. If you're new to the War Room, let me know in the comments that it's your first time and where you're watching from, so that the OG War Room family, as they have dubbed themselves, can welcome you properly. And I am not alone here in the War Room. My co-hosts are here as well. Friday, say hi to everyone. Last week, we had a little bit of a poop incident here in the War Room. That is not the case this week. So I will let you know that the War Room is poop free this week, which is nice. Hold on, let me turn the pug cam on so you can meet both Wednesday and Friday and all of the pillows that they are about to knock off the couch. So, hey, guys, what are you doing? They have been wrestling all freaking day. It has been like WrestleMania 41 in here. Keith says, hey, fuckers. Kim says, hey, everyone. Carrie, Wednesday and Friday. Ash says, what's up? Denise says, hey, everyone. Nice marathon shirt, Carrie. I got my uniform BAA shirt on too. So you guys know, because, now you guys don't want to be on the pug cam. You're going to wrestle on the other side. Hey, get out of there. You guys know how sentimental I get around Marathon Monday. It's something that I grew up being a spectator at before I got into radio. My first paid day on the payroll at WAF when I was a part-time street teamer was Marathon Monday 1994. I think I was making $3.75 an hour, which I think at the time was minimum wage. And I was setting up equipment for the live broadcast at the finish line. Then once I got on the air and got my own show, every year I would broadcast live from the finish line, including 2013. And like I said, it's WrestleMania back here. And if you grow up in New England, especially if you grow up in Massachusetts, if you went to college in Boston, Marathon Monday is such a huge, important fiber in the tapestry of your life. It's tied to so many amazing memories. You have contributed to fundraisers for charity runners that you're friends with. You know people that have tackled the course and finished it. You know people that have tackled the course and not finished it. And then there's always those people like I was that was drunk on the side of Boylston Street going, someday I am going to run that thing. And then I did in 2019. And I think once you run it, or once you are a volunteer, of which there are thousands, by the way, once you're connected to the race in that way, it's a whole different kind of thing. And ever since I ran it, it gives me such a huge amount of love for the spectators, because there were parts of the course where I really struggled mentally and physically. I didn't think I was going to be able to finish. And everybody told me, if you can get to the top of the hills, that the crowd will get you home. If you can just get through the hardest part of the course, and everybody says the halfway point of the Boston Marathon is the top of Heartbreak Hill, because you're so beaten down when you get to the top of the hills, and everybody's like, you're almost there, and you have 6.2 miles left to go, and it crushes your spirit, which is part of how it got its name. I really didn't think I was going to be able to finish. And you work so hard training, and you work so hard to fundraise, And the crowd and my family and my husband, they're the ones that really got me across. And all of the love, the first responders yelling on the side of the road. The guy, I think it was at mile 21, and it started raining and was windy again. And this guy's offering me Fireball nips on the side of the marathon route. Like, you just have this connection to the race, which is why you see people walking around year after year wearing the race jacket from the year they ran, because you only have to run it one time like I did to have this connection to the race. And year after year, I look forward to going down to the race, to going to the expo the weekend before. I always have friends that are running, friends that come in from out of town. John Connolly from Seven Dust has run the last couple of years. He didn't run this year. But seeing your friends tackle the course, seeing people from all around the world come to Boston to love it so much. And I think one of the craziest things is seeing Bostonians lose their cynicism for the day, where they're making up signs for people and they're cheering on people that have traveled. I want you guys to see Friday while she's just sitting there. They're cheering on people they've never met before, that don't even speak the same language, but everybody kind of understands how hard the course is. And it just is one of those perfect days, which is why the bombing hurt so bad, emotionally and psychologically, because it's just such a day of positivity. There's nothing negative about Marathon Monday. It's just such a great day. And ever since 2013, when I get down to the course, I get about 5 minutes of like this emotion that I need to shake off, just because I remember so vividly how the city felt after that. And I just love Marathon Monday so much. I love it even more when the weather's nice, which was beautiful. It was cool enough for the runners, warm enough for the spectators. And I went down there yesterday, had some friends run, and it's just an awesome day. So what's up, Mr. Voorhees? Jason says, sorry, I'm late, everybody. Jonathan says, happy Earth Day. Sherry says, blueberry cobbler. Kevin says, what's up, MC? Wednesday and Friday. Johnny says, hi. Hey. Hi, guys. Bish says, hey, Carrie, having run the 5K, the 10K for the BAA and finishing on the marathon route, it just means more. It just is one of those days that I always tell people, like, look, you never know what you're going to get with the weather. It's a mixed bag in April in New England. You just don't know what you're going to get. One weekend, you're getting 6 inches of snow in April. The next weekend, it's 80 degrees. Is it nicer to come during warm baseball weather when the college students are gone and the city's beautiful? You could take a duck boat tour and go eat down at Faneuil Hall and, you know, go to a Red Sox game and all that. Yes. But there's something to be said for coming into Boston on Marathon Monday and experiencing what the city is. Like, I was walking around with my friends that ran the race yesterday, and we went to dinner in the North End last night, and they had their medals on, and we were going into businesses where the entire staff, every time a runner with their medal came inside, they were all cheering. And you're seeing other runners like walking down the street, and you're like, congratulations. And they're like, oh my God, thank you. And there's just this amazing feeling in the city, and it's like a high, and I would hate to miss it. I've missed years. Obviously, you know, if I'm not broadcasting down there, I have to get a little more creative to get down there, but I usually know a few people that run every year, and I'm never running it again, but I do get that idea around marathon weekend every year. Like, if you're a smoker and you've quit smoking and you don't want to have a cigarette, but every once in a while you walk by someone smoking and for like a split second it smells good, it's like that. You're like, maybe I would want to run it again. And then my brain goes, are you crazy? Of course you're not going to run it again. But it's awesome. Jean says, can I get a shout out on my birthday? Absolutely, Jean. Happy birthday. And so for anybody that decides to tackle the race, which if you are able, to go through the training and obviously to get a bib, unless you qualify, which is really hard to do, you're going to do it as a charity runner, which means there's going to be a time and financial investment to be able to raise the money for the charity. But it is something that if you've ever said, I would always love to do it, just do it. If you get the chance, the year I ran it, it wasn't a plan for me to do it, but I got offered a bib by the home base program. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get offered a bib again. So screw it. I'm just going to do it. And I'm so glad that I did, but I do feel like I'm part of this club. Like I'm never going to finish fast, but it is something where I have that medal and it's framed with my bib number. And I got that famous like foil blanket, and I know what the Scream Tunnel sounds like. And I know what it's like to get to the top of Heartbreak Hill. I know what that feeling is like standing at the start line at Hopkinton first thing in the morning. And I know what those screams sound like when you turn off of Hereford onto Boylston Street. And those things are so powerful that, yeah, I get sentimental and I get super happy when it comes to marathon weekend around here, because I just don't think, unless you've experienced it, I think there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, okay, it's a marathon. My city has a marathon too. What's the big deal? But it really does take over not just the city, but the region of the country, that when you see someone, wearing their jacket, and you're like, are you running this year? Good luck. And I'll see you at the finish. And you've got the app and you're tracking people and you're racing around to try and make sure you're at the finish line to see your friends cross. And it's just awesome. So if you're joining us here in the War Room from somewhere far away and you have never experienced the city of Boston on Marathon Weekend, on Patriots Day weekend, which was made even more special this year because they commemorated the 250th anniversary of Paul Revere's ride and the shot heard round the world. And so there were all of these celebrations around Massachusetts and Lexington and Concord, the big drone show, the reenactment, the horseback. They even sent Paul Revere down Boylston Street on horseback yesterday, yelling, the runners are coming, the runners are coming. And so it was a really special weekend to be around the city, both historically and, of course, for the marathon. And so, to all of the runners, I say congratulations. To everybody that is thinking about, okay, I'm doing it next year, that's making that decision. To all of the volunteers, because it cannot be overstated, the marathon is run by thousands of volunteers that literally today have already begun planning next year's marathon. And those volunteers are unbelievable. They're answering questions from people that are coming in from out of town. They're pointing you in the right direction. They're helping to navigate and solve your problems for you. They're welcoming you to the city. They are handing you snack bags and foil blankets and water along the course and treats along the course. All the medical staff that are manning all of the first aid stops and obviously the big first aid setup that they have at Copley Square. It's just freaking awesome. And there isn't a bad thing about Marathon Monday, which is a rare thing in this world, to have something that is just done for positivity. And especially the everyday runners that run for charity, they're running for such amazing organizations. And I can tell you that as a regular person, like I have friends that are elite athletes. They do Ironmans, they do ultra marathons, they do marathons. And this is their hobby and it's what they love to do and they're really good at it. I can tell you as someone that's not that the idea that you commit yourself to doing something so hard, something that you're still not sure if you can pull off or not on your own, and that all of the people around you in your social circle band together to encourage you, to tell you that you can do it. And then it gets hard and you persevere through that. And then it gets hard and your body hurts and you go and do it anyway. There's something about challenging yourself to do something that you thought was impossible and then you do it. Even if it's not pretty. I didn't run fast. I've been joking all weekend with my friends from out of town that the qualifying time for an 80-year-old woman to run Boston is 5 hours and 20 minutes. I ran it in 6 hours and 24 minutes. So I'm slower than an 80-year-old marathon runner, but I finished it. And that's all that matters. And so, I just am just filled with love this weekend every year. And I just think it's awesome. And seeing people, I'm not talking about the winners. I'm not talking about the elite athletes. I'm not talking about the runners that do this as a passion. But when you go down there 5-6 hours after the marathon started and you see these people that are just trying to get across, there's a video up right now of all of these people. I put one up on my Facebook page. A guy literally crawling across the finish line, but bound and determined that he was going to cross. Those are the people that I cheer the loudest for. Those are the things that are the examples of what's really possible, because you're seeing these people literally give it everything they have. Those people aren't getting out of bed today, but yesterday they crossed the finish line, which is awesome. What's up, Tommy? It's good to see you too. Thank you for hanging out with us here in the War Room. Jessica wants to know where Wednesday is. So Wednesday and come here, Wednesday. Everybody wants to know where you are. What are you doing? Don't worry, she's here. Come on. Here she comes. Let me turn your camera on so everybody can see your beautiful faces. You guys built this whole little wall of pillows here. There you go. There they are. She's here. Friday's been a little bit of a pill. She's been going into rooms of the house she's not normally allowed, marking her territory, so she has been bad. We're going to work on that, right, Friday? And she's been wound up. So Friday has been annoying Wednesday a little bit, and Wednesday's been just trying to find that quiet place where she can get away from the puppy. But Wednesday's here. She's fine. Carol says, I don't care what time you finished. Bish says, for me, nothing is more therapeutic than running, and to lose 200 pounds doing it was an added bonus. Was John Connolly running with you? Jessica, I am not anywhere near the skill level to be able to run with John Connolly from Seven Dust. He qualifies for Boston. He's run Boston twice, not this year, but the year before and the year before that. He ran Boston in like 3:17, which is like insane. It's insanely fast. It's not, I mean, the winners, I think the winner yesterday finished in 2:03, but running it in 3:15, like those are like 7-minute miles. You guys know I'm not good at math, but it's like around 7-minute miles for 26.2 miles. And John Connolly has really, really dedicated himself to running and Ironman competitions and marathoning and ultra races. And I believe that's why he didn't run this year. He qualified to run Boston this year. But when I saw him at the Disturbed show at the TD Garden a few weeks ago, he said that he was running the guy that trained him to run Boston was running an ultra marathon, 100 miles. And John was going to run 25 of those. Like with the people that run those crazy ass long races, they get people to run segments of the race with them. And so John was going to run 25 miles of the 100 miles with his training partner. And so he wasn't going to run Boston this year, but he loves running it. And last year, the first year, the weather was weird. And so it's one of those things where, you never know what kind of weather you're going to get. And so that's kind of how the course lures people back. It's like, well, the weather sucked this year. Maybe next year the weather will be better and I'll get a better time. So I'm going to work really hard so that I can qualify for next year, because I want to come back and tackle the course again. I want to see if I can do better. I want to see if I can, lower my time. Now that I've been on the course, I know where it's hard and I know what strategy I have to take. And it's like a drug, like, oh, okay, the first taste is free and now I got you. That's kind of how the marathon is with athletes. So Donna wants to know, was Wednesday with Daddy? No, Daddy's not here. She was just in the other room. Friday, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come over here and say hi to everyone. Wednesday's being nice and quiet. Why do you have to be the noisy one? Huh? Why do you have to be the noise? Say hi to everyone. Show everybody your pretty belly. Say hi. Say hi. There you go. Right? Don't eat my microphone. So, yeah. So, to everybody that ran, to all the volunteers, to the medical staff, you guys were all amazing. Yesterday was an unbelievable day. So, Travis, what's up? Brittany says, you are amazing. I'm trying hard to train for the Murph after years of injuries. So I have hope that I can finish it now. Not the marathon, I know, but still, y'all rock. Brittany, you could do it. You can do it. If you can do the Murph, you can do the marathon. You just got to make the decision that you're going to do it and you're not going to quit. And I can tell you that the mental part of it, the making the decision not to quit, when you make that decision and you just don't quit, it's so empowering. It's just, I just remember how hard it was. I remember how miserable I was. And the idea that I finished, I could not, I mean, you could see the pictures of me at the finish line. I couldn't have been happier. Hey, don't dig in the couch. What are you doing? Don't do that. Hey, what are you doing? Knock it off. Why do you have to smell her butt? Why do you have to do that? So yeah, pug snorts, Donna, exactly. Did you get your peas planted? Christina wants to know. Yes. So while the family was here, we were able to get the garden turned over. The peas are in the ground. Nothing's popped out of the ground yet, but a lot of my flowers and all of that kind of stuff is starting to come up around the yard. I've got some flowering trees in the front yard that are always the first things to flower every year. They look amazing. My lilac bushes, which are like some of the favorite things in the yard, you can see the flowers on them. It's going to be a really good year for my lilacs, I think, which I can't wait for because I strategically planted them around the house so that when I open the windows to the house, it just fills the house with that smell. And so I can't wait. Jessica says, how was your Easter? It was good. Easter this year was my sister's birthday. So needless to say, there was ice cream cake to be had. I had friends here from out of state because of the marathon. So it was more of just carbo loading for the marathon and eating ice cream cake and kind of celebrating my sister's birthday. So the whole weekend was great. Shane says solid footwear helps. Yeah, getting the right shoes, all of that stuff. Like Travis says, loving this warmer weather. It's supposed to be beautiful this week. And yeah, I am loving it too. Just because I did a lot of work in the yard this weekend. My husband and my son being here, they helped me kind of get all of the things done that that I had been behind on in the yard and stuff. And so I'm all caught up now. The mulching is done. And now I'm just kind of, waiting to start the mowing, weed whacking, process of the yard. A lot of branches came down this year in the yard because of the winter storms and the wind and stuff. So it's been collecting all of that stuff so that I don't kill my lawnmower and all that. How are the bunnies and biscotti? Carol, those biscottis, my friends came from out of town and could not stop raving about your cookies. They're so, so good. Shane says, my car is covered with pollen out of nowhere and I am sneezing. Welcome to Allegra season. I can hear it in my voice already. I can tell you that putting better filters in your heating and air conditioning system in the house definitely helps when it comes to the pollen and stuff. But I am one of those people that loves to have the windows open. So I'm literally getting the house cleaned up from all of the dust and the ash from having the wood stoves going all winter. And now I'm preparing to have the whole house be filled with pollen because it's pollen season. So yeah. Jessica says, happy belated birthday to your sister Karen. She says, thank you very much. Yeah, it's just, it's so nice right now. It's hard to kind of be upset. So I do want to remind you guys, just because we're getting into a new season while everybody's working on their houses, I do want to remind you guys over the last few weeks, we've been talking a lot about Tim and Melissa. The support on the GoFundMe has been amazing. For anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, Tim and Melissa had their Halloween decorations catch their house on fire back in October, and they have been dealing with the insurance company, and they are in the middle of construction and rebuilding, but there are some things that the insurance company is not covering. And so all of their loved ones got together and made a GoFundMe to try and help. Melissa has been an OG member of the War Room family since the very, very beginning, more than 5 years ago. And so I wanted to thank everybody that's been sending her messages of love, everybody that's been donating to the GoFundMe. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can just go to GoFundMe and look up Support Tim and Melissa After the Fire Tragedy, and you will find this picture. You'll see the whole story. You'll see all of the pictures, but they're wonderful people who are super active in the War Room community, who are super charitable, who are just always there supporting and loving on everyone here in the War Room that gets together every Tuesday night, and always willing to reach out a hand to help anybody that needs it. And so I want to keep that love going. I want to, if you've got $5, $10, whatever it is that you're able to contribute through the GoFundMe, if you're feeling generous, if there's anything you can do to reach out and volunteer to help them get back into their house. They have not been able to live at home since October, and they're just trying to get back on their feet and get back into their house. So if you can help Tim and Melissa in any way, you can go to the GoFundMe and get all of the details on that. Jonathan says the frogs are loud. Oh, I know. It's crazy. Dina says, Carrie, do you remember my hubby, Thomas Iazoni? He did the walk. Which walk did he do? The marathon or the run to home base? Like, which walk are we talking about? Stacy said maybe the cake had a special ingredient. No, it was my sister. We tell her all the time, like, you can have whatever you want. Like, it's your birthday. You get to decide what kind of cake you want. You get to decide what we have for dinner. And she wanted Italian food, so that's what we had. Plus, we had marathon runners in the house, so we were eating pasta anyway. But she wanted Carvel ice cream cake. That's what my sister wanted. So that's what my sister got. Like, that's kind of how it works. How it's always been with birthdays in my family is that it's kind of like your day. So you get to decide what we have for dinner. You get to decide what kind of cake you want to have. Do you want to have a party? What theme do you want the party? Do you want to go out to dinner? Like, whatever it is, it's your day, however you want to celebrate. She wanted Carvel cake. It's one of those memories from your childhood that it's like a taste of, childhood. So we had Carvel cake. The Warrior Walk. Yeah, Dina, I remember. She's like, no, the military, the AAF sponsored it. Yes, I do remember. For injured soldiers. Yeah, I totally remember. Wasn't everybody in silkies? If I remember correctly. Yeah, I totally remember. Or at least they weren't required, but a lot of guys wore the silkies anyway. So yeah. If you're new to the War Room and you're wondering where I've been or where you can find me, just a reminder of some of the radio stations that you're able to find me on. You can hear me on Charleston's Best Rock, 98 Rock, every weekday from 10 to 3. You can listen in Charleston, South Carolina on 98 Rock on the radio. You can download the free 98 Rock app, or you can just go to my98rock.com and stream the station on the website from anywhere. You can hear me on 100 FM The Pike in Worcester. You can download the Pike app, or you can just go to pikefm.com, stream the station that way. I want to remind you, this Thursday, I am going to be broadcasting live from the Sherwood Diner. It's Teacher Appreciation Day. So that's happening on Thursday. That's going to start at 3 o'clock. All this week, I am giving away tickets to see Tesla at the summer kickoff June 1st at Indian Ranch. So make sure you're listening to try and win Tesla tickets this week. Plus, we've got the Hair Fest scheduled. We have got Grunge Fest already scheduled. So there's lots going on with the Pike. You can also hear me every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7 on 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine. We go commercial free for the first 90 minutes of the show starting at 3 o'clock. We go all request at 5 o'clock every weekday. The $100,000 cash grab keywords every hour, all afternoon long. So download the Bone app, stream it at 1063thebone.com. And that station is in Portland, Maine. And the newest station that you can hear me on, Mornings with Mistress Carrie, weekdays from 6 to 10 on Laser 99.3 and 98.5. You can stream the station at laser993.com, or you can download the free Laser app. Hello, Friday. Did you just decide to come and sit on my lap? Or are you hoping that maybe I'm going to give you something? No, you just want to sit on my lap? Okay, you can. Let's see. Bish says the bone zone. Sherry says no pants day. I get it. There's lots of events getting worked on for the summer. I am going to be out and about a lot. I'm going to be spending some time out in Springfield. We're working on some stuff up in Portland. I'm going to be out and about all around Worcester, but there are also going to be a bunch of just Mistress Carrie events that I'm working on right now. One that's confirmed. I know it's not until the end of September, but I am going to be set up at this year's Johnny Appleseed Festival in Leominster, Massachusetts. I'm going to have a big display, so you can come and hang out with me. All that stuff is up on the concert and event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. So if you are not caught up with the episodes of the Mistress Carrie podcast, I don't know why Papa Perpetua keeps popping up on the screen. Last week's episode, David and Tom from Barrie Tomorrow were my guests. For some reason, there's just this big push to have British guys on the podcast for some reason. So episode 254 last week was David and Tom from Barrie Tomorrow. And this week, a returning guest who was originally on episode 129, Sam Carter from Architects, returns this week on episode 2. No, hold on. Did I screw that up? Yeah, I did. This is episode 255. Carrie. Yes, not 254. It's episode 255. Hold on, I have to fix it. It's driving me crazy. Yes, I will drink the social because there's a typo on the screen. I know what the rules are. If you're new to the War Room, when you guys catch mistakes on the show, I have to drink. Copper mug means Moscow Mule, by the way, just in case you're new to the show. So episode 255, featuring Sam Carter from Architects. They've got a new album that just came out. They're going to be in Boston at the House of Blues coming up in August. We talked about his mustache, which is very majestic. He just moved into a new house. We were talking about moving and his musical collectibles. We talked about Ozzy and Black Sabbath and the big show happening in England in July. So if you're an Architects fan, if you're a Beatles fan, he's just a great guest. There are certain people that are just great to have on the show because they're happy and they can't wait to talk and they've always got something fun to talk about. And Sam Carter from Architects is one of those guys. So Shane says, MC, my neighbor is over and she wants to know what you use for your purple hair. Shane, my hairdresser, Linda, is the one that does it. So you can thank my hairdresser, Linda, because she is the master of all things purple. So tell your neighbor to go see Linda if she wants to purplicious. Yes, Jonathan, I'm drinking. Yes, Keith and Donna, I get it. Shane also says, regardless, Architects is a must-see band. They're going to be at the House of Blues in August. They are absolutely fantastic. Yes, Jessica, I'm drinking. Typo, I know, Heidi. But he's just a super cool guy. He was late signing into the interview. So he was like, I'm so sorry. And that's when I started making fun of his mustache. So episode 255 of the Mistress Carrie podcast goes live at midnight tonight. If you subscribe to the podcast, no matter where you subscribe, you get the weekly episodes on Wednesdays, the bonus episodes, and of course, every Monday through Friday, I release a sit rep, which is rock news, music headlines, entertainment updates. It's about 5 minutes long. A shorter version of the sit rep airs on Laser 99.3 and 98.5 throughout the day. You can also listen for the sit rep all day long on 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine as well. Just trying to keep you up to date with all of the news and everything that's going on. And there you can go to mistresscarrie.com. You can listen. Am I frozen? You guys hear me? Wednesday and Friday, you have dog treats. Jessica says she did an amazing job on your hair. Thank you. So that's every place you can listen to the podcast. I don't know why the screen is freezing. I can't hear you. No, you're good. Shane says you can hear the podcast in 149 countries. I have been hoping we were going to hit 150 countries, but we have been denied. You guys can't hear me. I can hear you, but the video is frozen. I can see and hear you, says Kevin. Yes, the audio, but no video, says Will. You froze, but I hear you, says Denise. Yeah, I don't know why the video froze, but it did. It's kind of weird. Let's get to the birthdays. First of all, happy unbirthday, Keith. Also, MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, Daniel Johns from Silverchair, Shavo O'Dagian from System of a Down, Kenny Lyons from the Lemonheads, Peter Frampton and Glenn Campbell were all born on your birthday today. So if today's your birthday, happy unbirthday, Keith. Cheers to you guys. Rachel says it's all fixed now. Jonathan says you're frozen when your heart's not open, Madonna. Haha. Jonathan, you are brutal. Brutal. Carol says I can hear you just fine. So, all right, that's good. Let's talk about some of the big music announcements that came out over the last few days. Obviously, we're continuing to talk about this Back to the Beginning concert that's happening in July with Ozzy and Black Sabbath. Everybody from Jonathan Davis and David Draymond and Billy Corgan. Sammy Hagar is going to be there. Plus Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Pantera, Anthrax, Alice in Chains. Hailstorm's going to be there. Zakk Wylde is going to be there. Mike Inez from Faith No More is going to be, Mike Borden from Faith No More is going to be there. It's just a huge, insane show. Jason Momoa is going to host it. Tom Morello serving as the musical director. So it's going to be huge. We actually talked about it, Sam Carter from Architects and I, on this week's episode of the podcast. But some other stuff that got announced just in the last couple days, there is a new Hailstorm song that got released called Darkness Always Wins. That's the first single to their upcoming new album. You can stream that. Linkin Park announced that they are going to be releasing another new song this week called Unshatter. That's going to be part of the deluxe edition of their latest album From Zero that's coming out this year. The Alice Cooper Band has reunited and is releasing an album for the first time in 50 years. It's called The Revenge of Alice Cooper. The album's coming out on July 25th. And this Sammy Hagar story, I want to hear the song. Sammy Hagar is releasing a new song called Encore, Thank You, Good Night. It's coming out this Friday. He says he had a dream. And in the dream, Eddie Van Halen came to him in the dream and asked to write a song with him. And Sammy Hagar remembers this dream and remembers being like, fuck yes, let's write a song together. And he says that Eddie Van Halen did this guitar lick where he it was almost like a slide guitar, that it was a lick that then went into like a chord. And he said it sounded like a slide guitar thing. And he woke up in the morning and remembered the guitar lick and remembered the chords and wrote a song. And he thinks that Eddie Van Halen kind of gifted him this lick, this riff, this chord in his dreams. I want to hear the song. The song comes out on Friday. Also, this just got announced today. Stained is announcing some solo headlining shows, including at Foxwoods in Connecticut on September 20th. This just got announced today. Tickets go on sale this Friday, April 25th. So let's see. Happy birthday to you and your niece, Nina. Yeah, you guys are all, there's a lot of birthdays this time of year for some reason. So that's what's going on. Plus all of the shows that are coming. The Shinedown show's coming in July. Linkin Park's going to be July 31st and August 1st. Ghost is going to be on July 21st. This is the No Phone show. And there's ghost shot video that's been uploaded on YouTube and stuff. The show looks insane. Stevie Nicks, those tickets went on sale on Friday to see Stevie Nicks at the TD Garden August 12th. Nine Inch Nails coming at the end of August. Eric Clapton's going to be there in the middle of September. All of these shows are up on the concert calendar. Spencer Charnas co-wrote a horror film. And They don't know when it's going to be out yet. There's not a lot of details on it, but he co-wrote a horror film, which is unbelievable. It's probably going to premiere at Silver Scream Con because that's something that Spencer would do. At the DCU Center, the weekend of September 12th through the 14th, there's always a big show outdoors. They haven't announced all of the details yet, but Silver Scream Con blocked that weekend off. If you're a horror lover, if you're a metal lover, you're going to love that convention. Also, Sleep Token, who is like one of the biggest, hottest artists out right now. They sold out the DCU Center on September 23rd. Big Night Live in Boston, Everclear, Local H, and Sponge in October. Also, Xfinity Center, now that the warm weather is here, so are the outdoor shows. Simple Minds has just announced that they have got a documentary coming out about the band. They're going to be out on the road. They've got new music coming out June 15th at the Xfinity Center. Styx is going to be there July 19th. Rod Stewart and Cheap Trick, Offspring, Jimmy Eat World and Newfound Glory, Volbeat, Hailstorm, and The Ghost Inside, the Doobie Brothers, Billy Idol and Joan Jett. By the way, fan voting for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame shut down yesterday. So we're going to find out in a few weeks if Billy Idol made the cut and is getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or not. Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace at the Xfinity Center on September 11th. And Papa Roach with Rise Against and Under Oath. The Rise of the Roach tour is in the middle of September. AC/DC coming up fast at Gillette Stadium with the Pretty Reckless. I cannot wait for the show. Yes, I'm going to be there. The aforementioned Alice Cooper at Mohegan, May 23rd. Post Malone and Jelly Roll are going to be at Gillette at the end of May. Clutch, Sleep Theory at the Sinclair. Sleep Theory is also going to be up at the State Theater in Portland. Baby Metal at the Mohegan Sun Arena. Weird Al, Incubus, Def Leppard, Coldplay at Gillette. George Thorogood announcing a couple shows. He's also going to be down at Foxwoods on this run as well, but he's going to be at the Lynn Auditorium on September 19th. Let's see. Leader Bank Pavilion, Toto, Christopher Cross, and Men at Work. The Goo Goo Dolls are going to be there. Chicago on August 2nd. Let's see. Fenway, not a lot of rock shows at Fenway this year, which I'm kind of bummed out about. The last few years have been amazing for rock shows. My Chemical Romance and the Lumineers are both going to be at Fenway this year. The Palladium is announced. Memphis Mayfire, that one's coming up May 10th. Mushroomhead's going to be there in October. But the return of the New England Metal and Hardcore Festival, it is going to be a one-day show at the Palladium outdoors in downtown Worcester. The lineup is announced. The tickets are on sale. Details on the concert calendar. Roadrunner has got Poison the Well. Also Ministry, Jet, Back Together, Dinosaur Jr., and Garbage coming in September. MGM Music Hall at Fenway has got Devo coming. Also Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine, Queens of the Stone Age, The Pixies, Alabama Shakes, The Black Keys, Chevelle. You can expect more shows to get announced. I just got word on another show that's getting announced next week. Big. You guys are going to want to go to that one. Jessica says, is Mike Mushak still with Stained or is he in Saint Asonia? He's in both. He's pulling double duty, just the way that Adam Gontier is pulling double duty with Saint Asonia and 3 Days Grace. House of Blues has got Machine Head coming up later this week. Manson in May, Less Than Jake, Architects. Sam Carter, my guest on the podcast this week, they're going to be at the House of Blues August 16th. And Bruce Dickinson on his solo tour is going to be at the House of Blues on September 11th. The Paradise Rock Club tomorrow night. The Linda Lindas are there. The Melvins, May 8th. And Billy Corgan and the Machines of God are going to be at the Paradise on June 9th. City Winery Boston. I got more shows getting announced all the time with those guys, so I will update the concert calendar. There is also, come on. There we go. The Session 2-day Irish music culture gathering festival with the Dropkick Murphys and the Pogues, the Water Boys, the Hold Steady. Tickets for both shows or weekend passes are all on sale right now. And that's available at the concert calendar. Leave it to the Dropkicks to put this whole freaking thing together. It's crazy. Let's see. Carol wants to know when the next Patreon fan-only live stream is going to be. It might be this weekend, actually. I've just been a little crazy because I've had a house full of people and the family was in town last week. So what's the matter, Wednesday? Are you coming up? Come on. Come on. Come up. Come on. What's mommy got? Come on. Can you not jump up on the couch? I have to move a pillow. Come on. Wednesday. Come on. Get up here. Come on. Get over here. Let me put your pug cam on so everybody can see your beautiful little face. There they are. There's my girls. Friday, sit down and be nice. Sit down and be nice. Nicely. Yes, Wednesday, you get one too. Good girls. Good girls. Would you like one more little cookie? Okay. Good girls. Look at how pretty my girls are. Look at how pretty they are. Is it too many pillows on the couch? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? You're a good girl. You're being awfully quiet tonight, right? Because of you, sleepy puppy? Huh? Because of you, is that why? Okay. Where were we? Oh, we're talking about the live stream. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be this weekend. I will let you guys know ASAP about when we're going to get together, the Backstage Pass holders, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be this weekend. New releases coming out on Friday. Billy Idol has got Dream Into It coming out. Skeletor, the new Ghost album, is coming out on Friday. You can hear all about it on a bonus episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast a few weeks ago with Tobias Forge. Jeff Goldblum has got a new album called Still Blooming coming out on Friday. Luke Spiller from the Struts, he's got a solo album, his debut solo album, Love Will Probably Kill Me Before Cigarettes and Wine. Machine Head has got Unatoned, also Peter Wolf, Crying the Neck. Simple Minds, live at the City of Diamonds. So those guys, we were just talking about their documentary that they have coming out. Stereophonics, Make 'em Laugh, Make 'em Cry, Make 'em Wait. Sting Live 3.0, Wednesday 13, Mid-Death Crisis. And I put Willie Nelson on here because this is like Willie Nelson's 86th studio album or something insane. He's released, I think, 114 albums total or something. It's unbelievable. No mail call this week. So we'll check back on the mail call next week. Sorry, ladies. There's no mail call. Do you want to come up? Come here and say hi to everyone. Yes, I know. She can be a lot. She can be overwhelming. I know, but it's okay. It's okay. Right? Are you trying to touch my microphone? I know. Friday can be a lot. Wednesday, I get it. I told you guys that I am starting to work on some new designs for some new stickers and some new shirts for the summer, so I will let you know how that works. Backstage Pass members, I hope you guys loved Spirit Box. I got so many people that reached out and told me how good they were at the MGM over the weekend. You still have access to Trivium tickets with Bullet for My Valentine and also tickets to see Ghost coming up in July. And there is another new show that you guys are going to have access to tickets for. I was going to tell you about it this weekend if we get together. But if you don't have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you get monthly exclusive live streams. You find out who's going to be on the podcast before anybody else so you can submit questions. When I travel, you get travel blog updates, early access to event information, discounts on new merchandise. So just go to mistresscarrie.com, click the Patreon link, or just go to patreon.com/mistresscarrie and you can find it. You can also find me on social everywhere, all of the different radio apps where you can listen to the show, different times of day, different stations, different music. I do want to address, there were some comments on the Mistress Carrie Veterans Rock group on Facebook about all of the spamming that was happening. And people were complaining that I wasn't monitoring the page well enough or that I wasn't doing enough to lock the page down to keep the spammers from happening. And I heard you. I totally get it. Some of the problem was some settings that I needed to adjust. Some of the other problems are that the social media companies, and it's not just Facebook, but it's Twitter and Instagram and TikTok to a certain extent, that these spammers, they're getting around the protections on the social media accounts, and that the actual pages, meaning the companies, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they're not doing everything they can do to stop this stuff from happening. I have changed a bunch of settings in the group, and so the spamming should be a lot less than it was. Some people were getting kind of really angry about it, like it wasn't being taken seriously, which it was. But when you change a bunch of settings on it and it still happens, not everything is in your control. This stuff gets through. There are people that create what look like legitimate profiles, and they get through the inspection process on Facebook, and then they change the page and start spamming everybody, and they're not getting flagged. And so it's really hard to catch these people. I do what I can to block them. I do what I can to pull these things down. Settings have been changed, so I appreciate all your patience on it. But it's still a great place to be able to support veterans, to be able to find out about veteran-owned businesses. If you're a veteran looking for work, if you're looking to hire veterans, if you're just looking to volunteer, if you're a veteran looking for resources, that's what this group is for. We're up to almost 3,000 people now. So keep spreading the word about the group. Keep posting about it. The businesses, the organizations. I know Travis is always posting about his podcast episodes where he's talking about veterans topics. It's working because people are getting out of, they're getting things out of it. It's building community. It's giving veterans a place to go and ask questions, to seek resources. So the group is working. It's just trying to keep, unfortunately, spammers only come to you when you're like, if you don't post a lot on your page, you don't pop up for the spammers to spam you. The spammers go after the pages that get a lot of traffic. And so when the spammers are going after my page, on one hand, it sucks. And on the other hand, it's because the page is doing really well. So that kind of sucks. Is it okay that I report them to the admin on the page? I'm the admin on the page. I think people think I have a staff of people that's doing all of this stuff, but I'm the admin on the page. So yes, tell me that these people are there. I have changed a lot of the admin settings to get a lot of this stuff blocked. But yeah, report them to Facebook, because there's a lot that can be done at Facebook's level or at Instagram's level or at Twitter's level or TikTok's level that is just not being done. A lot of these things have been relaxed. They've gotten rid of a lot of the staff that, like the fact checking staff, the staff that reports false information, the staff that kind of pulls all the spammers out. It's almost like they like the extra traffic from the spammers or something. So, I've done the best I can. The page, I think, is a lot better in the last few days because I've gone in like 3 times and changed the settings. And I think this time around I got the settings right. So Tom says, Carrie, what the F is going on? Is something wrong, Tom? Or are you just saying hi? Because you're scaring me like something bad is happening. What's going on? I don't think anything is going on. Everything is good. Right? Everything good? You guys need to see this. Can't handle the cuteness. Look at these two. Are you guys snuggling? Are you snuggling? Good girls. By the way, Friday is like fully healed. She's awesome after getting fixed and having some baby teeth removed that were in the way. She's doing really, really well. So all good. Let me see. There we go. Bish says, my birthday is in August. I'll send in an early request. Donna says the Mistress Carrie veteran page. Will you be having guests in the war room soon? So Jennifer, that's one of the things that I've been working on is getting the Zoom app to work with the new software. So they are discontinuing some of the other like video conference softwares. And so the software that runs the war room has come up with a new interface for Zoom. And I am learning how it works right now because I use Zoom a lot when I do interviews for the podcast. And so, yes, the goal is to start being able to have more guests in the war room and to be able to do it through Zoom as opposed to, doing it through whatever other system that we were using to be able to do it. So I've heard it works great. I'm in the learning process right now, trying to get the accounts to sync up and for it all to get working. And then you have to build the war room slides and stuff to get it in there. So I'm working on it. But yes, that's the goal. Jessica says, I can't resist all of the powers of all of the cuteness. I know. Carrie, you sound like you need a good night's sleep. I just started a new job and should be in bed myself, said Shane. The voice is tired, but it's also the change in the seasons. I have been sneezing so much. I think that I'm slowly developing worse and worse pollen allergies. And it's just a really wet time of year. So there's a lot of mold in the air and it's just the temperature changing. It does this to my voice all the time. But yeah, trust me, I do need to rest my voice. Tom wants to know that when the new t-shirts are coming out. So Tom, I was talking about it earlier that I'm working on some new sticker and shirt designs right now. So the goal is to get some new stuff out this summer for sure. Jeremy says, hey, Carrie, on Instagram, I was going to text you today. I'm still waiting. Oh, what's up, Jeremy? From Boston Lawnmower. Still waiting on your mower to come back from the decal shop. Hope you are well. So Boston Lawnmower is on Route 9 in Westboro, and they're sponsoring my show on the Pike, and they are tricking out a lawnmower that I get to use for the year. And it's like one of those crazy spaceship looking lawnmowers, which means the videos that are going to be up on social media of me losing control of this crazy ass lawnmower are going to be epic. But they are putting Mistress Carrie logos and like purple flames on this thing and stuff. So I can't wait to see what they do with this lawnmower. I cannot wait. Walter, get the tea and honey, says Bish. Yeah, exactly. Allergy season stinks. It totally does. But I feel fine. Everything's good. I'm tired just because I was outside walking around the finish line of the marathon all day yesterday. So yeah, just a little tired, but it's all good. I'm not as tired as someone, but yeah, everything's good. So, all right, episode 255 of the podcast featuring Sam Carter from Architects goes live at midnight tonight. You can hear me tomorrow morning on Laser, tomorrow morning on 98 Rock in Charleston, tomorrow afternoon on The Bone and the Pike. Just go to mistresscarrie.com for all the links, all the info, everything you need to know. Not as bad as North Carolina pollen. Trust me. The family is going to be coming back up for AC/DC, so they're going to be back up here soon. Cheryl says the allergies have been so bad since the trees started flowering. Oh, I know. The trees are so pretty, and then you can't stop sneezing. So trust me, I totally get it. So, all right, guys. Enjoy the new episode of the podcast. Sam Carter is awesome. Tesla tickets on the Pike to give away all week. There's just lots going on. And I'll see you guys at Polar Park at the Woo Sox game if you're in and around the Worcester area on Thursday. So you girls want to say goodnight? Girls? Friday? Wednesday? Ah, there you are. Say goodnight to everyone. Say thank you for watching the show. Good night.